messaging that the Republicans are using, unless it's the mega mainly, but probably all Republicans.
It's mega.
It's probably, well, she's saying it on the news too, so it's anybody that's Republican. They're asking the question, are you better off, were you better off 4 years ago?
Than not than today.
Than today, compared to today. And everybody was talking about it on the View saying, what kind of question is that?
Let's see.
Like, I'm thinking before they go on, my mom, the year of COVID, my mom was in the hospital around this time.
You was in the
ICU.
hospital.
I was in the hospital. So no, we wasn't better off 4 years ago because I went. Go ahead and play the video. It just make you mad thinking about it.
Presidential race is fast approaching, and Republicans are returning to a familiar and famous question for voters. Take a look.
As Ronald Reagan famously asked us, are you better off today than you were 4 years ago? The answer for hardworking Americans across the country is a resounding no.
The Republican plan is to ask the voters of our battleground states, in fact, of all 50 states, are you better off today than you were 4 years ago? And the answer is clearly no.
I don't think any American can tell you that they are better off today than they were 4 years ago. That's just not going to happen.
Well, then the Biden administration dropped a reminder of exactly where we were 4 years ago.
And then I see the disinfectant. And is there a way we can do something like that by injection inside?
And on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your response to this crisis?
I'd rate it a 10. I think we've done a great job.
What do you say to Americans who are watching you right now who are scared?
I say that you're a terrible reporter. That's what I say. Yeah, no, I don't take responsibility at all. We're doing, I think, really, really well.
I'll tell you what. How? 1,000 Americans are dying a day.
They are dying. That's true. And it is what it is.
So why is it that some people are having short memory issues?
Are you better off today than you were 4 years ago?
All right. Now,
very stupid question. We wore masks. We were isolated. Some of the people said they had trouble trying to get toilet paper.
Well, it says here, let's read what Time Magazine says. Time Magazine says, you really are better now than you were 4 years ago. Last December at a rally in New Hampshire, Donald Trump asked the crowd a surprising and revealing question. Were you better off 5 years ago, or are you better off today? It's surprising because it deviated from what generations of presidential candidates trying to beat a first-term incumbent had asked at similar moments. Were you better off 4 years ago? That age-old question would be especially apt in this year's election, since 4 years ago, Trump himself was in the White House with the fate of the nation in his hands. Voters have good reason to consider how they felt about their own security and the state of the union during the 2020, and to compare it with how they feel today. It's revealing because it so powerfully illustrates Trump's strategies for reclaiming the Oval Office. Encourage Americans to deny, ignore, or forget just how dangerous and dysfunctional life was here 4 years ago. And to repress the memories of his government's chaotic and policy response. Remember, everybody was quitting every week.
Yeah.
He had somebody quitting every single week. That was part of his
administration team. Yeah.
Trump has a great deal to gain from avoiding conversations about what actually happened during 2020. The rest of the country, however, has everything to lose by treating the year as an anomaly and acting as if it never happened. At first, Trump simply denied COVID.
Yeah.
If you remember, it's just the cold. It's just the cold. You guys just relax. Mm-hmm. This I remember he did that in January. Said I have it totally under control, he said. On January 21st. The next week, January 28th, National Security Advisor Robert O'Brien told the president this will be the biggest national security threat you face in your presidency. He shunned him off.
Yes, he did.
Get off the stage.
Mm-hmm.
In early February 2020, Nancy Manasseh, or whatever her name is, the director of National Center for Immunization, CDC, told the press that we expect we'll see community spread in the United States. It's not a question of if it will happen, it's when.
Right. It was
the
coming.
president demanded she be fired.
Yes. This is over the CDC.
This is February.
Yeah, 2020.
Denial led to magical thinking and bizarre decision of distrust. Remember fake press. Fake. Everything is fake.
Fake news.
Remember in March, the president refused to let a cruise ship with infected Americans return to shore because I like the numbers where they are. When the government declared that certain people were essential workers, but refused to guarantee them personal protection equipment, let alone extra compensation and better health care. In April, Trump announced that the CDC was now recommending that Americans wear masks. But he declared, I'm choosing not to do so.
Right. And a lot of his followers.
Or when in December 2020, he refused to get vaccinated on television.
Exactly.
Remember that?
Yes. Yep.
Or promote the vaccine. Now he's out taking credit for the vaccine.
Thank you.
What is wrong with people? They can't remember this stuff.
They don't remember. They're very short-term memory there.
Then later on, he said that he's responsible because he didn't want Joe Biden to take the credit for it.
Thank you.
So he waited, and then when he wanted to take credit for it, he took credit because it worked, and he didn't want Joe Biden to get the credit for it.
He does things by strategic business moves, not caring about anybody else. It makes him look good or not. That's why.
What we've yet to assess is the way Trump's pandemic leadership damaged our already fraying social fabric and made social experience of 2020 so catastrophic that it remains with us today. Some people are still having problems from COVID.
Some people lost a lot of loved ones.
And still depressed.
Why would you ask that question to people who have lost loved ones because of COVID? Are you better off today than you was 4 years ago?
Consider not even get away from COVID, they said. Look at the way we treated each other, they said.
Yeah.
A great many people remember 2020. Remember all the crime and all that in the streets? The crime rates was up.
A lot of theft because a lot of people were stealing because they couldn't.
An increase in homicides, vandalism. Mm-hmm. Remember the Black Lives Matter protests? Mm-hmm. The protests on the right side?
Yeah.
With the Proud Boys and all of that? Mm-hmm. Domestic violence went up. Alcohol and drug use went up. Alarming levels. Gun sales soared. Carjackings went up. Hate crimes went up. Reckless driving spiked. It said you can't just blame COVID. Despite what collective memory suggests, the truth is it took months before most of these numbers climbed. That means it was after COVID. These numbers was climbing.
And he's trying to use this tactic because people have short memories and amnesia that, of course, what was going on in 2020, look at today, yeah, you got your job, you got bread on the table, yeah, the gas prices are up. He's trying to play a psychological game
He
here.
put a distrust of government, science, other citizens.
Dr. Fauci was a lot.
All of this was rising throughout the United States.
Yes.
Don't trust science. Don't trust your neighbor. Don't trust people.
And there are people who were openly saying they didn't want the vaccine, and they passed away.
Misinformation started going crazy, they said. Scott Morrison, the conservative prime minister, faced fierce criticism for refusing to acknowledge the role of climate change. Remember that? Climate change doesn't exist.
Yeah. And look at our crazy weather now.
I mean, I could go on and on.
But yeah, that was what they're using this now as their tactic to for the campaign. Are you better off now? Remember in 2020, it was worse.
Somebody says it may be comforting to believe that 2020 was a black swan, the kind of year that most likely won't ever happen again in this lifetime. More likely, it was a canary in the coal mine. an early warning that we've entered the age of extremes. Our political leaders should be equipped for the challenge. You think that the next extreme challenge that comes, comb over, would be the right president to get you through it? You don't think he's going to jump on a plane and go to some place
and leave the country and leave us here?
Somebody had a very interesting, and this is all, because I watch everything. I watch the left, I watch the right,
Conspiracy.
I watch progressive and everything. That Biden, because I don't trust him either, is allowing the border to be open. A lot of these guys that are coming in, because he knows that a draft is coming and they want to make them fight. They want to put them in front.
I know they're making some of them police officers.
That was a very interesting.
Think about it, though.
That you can't find police officers. The person said that.
Yeah.
You can't find anybody who wants to be a police officer, and you can't find anybody who wants to join the military.
And they're allowing.
But these guys, they allow them to come over, and in order to be a citizen, you gotta be join the army or the Navy or something.
Or the police force. Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
That's allegedly.
Let's use their bodies for something.
Or workforce.
Workforce.
A workforce. Mm-hmm. That's why I'm letting you come in.
Come on in.
You're the workforce. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They'll never tell you that, though.
Nope.
But that was very interesting when he said that.
Everybody got their hands dirty in our politics. That's why we got to pray for our leaders. Because even the leaders you think are good.
So to ask the stupid question, are you better off now?
Well, he's trying to play on.
No, I'm talking about the mega.
They're trying to play on. Of course, we were all having issues in 2020. We're not at the 2020 situation anymore. Remember that? Ding, ding, ding. I'm going to make sure we continue to move forward.
But I like how Time Magazine puts this. It's not so much if you're better off than you was 2020. That's obvious. The answer is no. But if it happens again, do you trust that comb over will be the right person in office to take care of it? He debauched it the first time.
Well,
he's a horrible leader.
But like I was saying,
he can't keep anybody on his staff.
But think about it. You said he's a hustler. So I'm thinking, playing devil's advocate. If you were to go to the average people that Jimmy Kimmel always pulls on the sidewalk and ask them a question, and they don't even know where Iowa is. Half the people, the state of Iowa, because they had that convention going on there. Can you point on they had the map of the United States.
They don't know nothing.
They don't know nothing. So he's taking advantage of people who don't know nothing, short memory. Of course, the quick answer, are you better now than you were 2020? Of course, they're going to say yes. Yes. Because 2020, you couldn't find toilet paper.
No, they're going to say no. They saying right now they're better off now. They're better off then because he was president. That's what they asking. They saying it's worse now. That you're looking at it.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You're right. You're right.
You saying what's obvious. They going the other way.
Off now, yeah. But
they saying they're not better off now.
In 2020, though.
They saying
he was still president in 2020.
They were saying they was better off in 2020 because Trump was president.
Okay, yeah, that's even worse. Yeah, you're
that's
right.
why I told you you can't make no you can't.
I'm trying to
there's
figure
no
out what he's
logical.
doing.
No, Lenore, there's no logical draw
But
that you can.
But you read earlier that he says 5 years.
That was last year. No, that was last year.
Oh, okay.
So no, just it doesn't matter.
Because he's going into before the pandemic.
No, when he said it was
5 years.
When he
ago.
said it was a year before last year. Yeah.
Oh, okay. When he first became president, the first 2 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay. Pardon me. That was a mistake.
Yeah, you're doing the logical one. The answer is yes now.
Well, yeah.
They're not saying that. They saying no. They're not saying nothing because they know the answer is no.
But then Whoopi brought up a good point too. People who have lost loved ones are not saying they are better off now.
He doesn't care. He lost, what's his name? What's the black guy, the pizza man?
Oh. Pizza man.
The one that said that
they didn't want to do vaccine.
Did he run for president? He ran for president.
Yeah, that black guy. What's his name, y'all? He was in the
Lenore, stop doing that. Now I gotta look it up.
I'm not asking you. The people, they gave you the answer for what's his name? You don't have to do it. What's the black guy's name? The Republican black guy who passed away, but he was also anti-vaccine. He was a Trumpster.
Herman Cain.
Herman Cain. That's it.
By the time they answered, because the commercials and stuff. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, they came in with Clive Davis while you were looking.
I had already said Clive Davis.
Oh, okay. Well, I saw the name pop up with, what's her name?
All right, Herman Cain.
I'm going to ask. And I can still talk
All
while you
right.
look it up.
All right,
Yeah.
so Herman Cain.
But yeah, Herman Cain, he didn't care that he had passed away.
He didn't care. Chris Christie left. That's when Chris Christie left him. When they didn't visit him in the hospital. Chris Christie had it.
Yeah.
Nobody sent him a card or nothing. He said, I'm out of here. Y'all hate me.
No, they don't care.
Yeah, that's when he left.
Okay.
All right. Trump's